Okay. Now, the first question you're asking is, why am I wearing a shirt that has dogs and skateboards on it? It's a good question. Today is talking about Interrupted again, but I'm not going to release it. Okay, so, okay. I'll just start reading from the text. And it says, let me get a good angle. Okay, I'm just going to start reading from the text. I'm just going to start reading from the text. So, I swear to God, sometimes it feels like I'm taking crazy pills. How can I be the only person who notices certain things? Question mark. And that's something that, yeah, I mean, why am I the guy that can see human nature and come to the right conclusions? Because we all do it. We all conclude other people's behaviors. And it's just so simplistic to me. Like someone tries to commit suicide. And then people will say this legitimately. She was just looking for attention. No. And the flip side of that is, would you yourself kill yourself? Take a bunch of pills for attention? Oh, I wouldn't do that. So then, but they would. Well, yeah, because they're way worse than me. That's part of the human condition, which I'll get into in depth later. But yeah, we we don't see each other very well at all. And I've been trying since forever to not lie to myself. So maybe I developed that gift. Maybe I was born with it. I don't know. Okay, take dinner tonight, for example. Oh, I actually did talk about this. Okay, either I'm crazy or my blank and my blank are strange talkers, or somehow I've discovered a new little nugget of human behavior. I suspect the answer is B and C. Yeah, these people are off the charts awful, okay? So I haven't encountered this anywhere else, but I encountered this first with the other person who's related to the other person, and they both do it. So yeah, okay, I'm just gonna deal with the interruptions. They don't talk to me about my life, only ever asking yes, no questions, and then dropping the subject entirely to go back to whatever they want to talk about. And when I try to do, oh God, when I try to introduce a topic, it dies in the vine without ever being talked about at all. And they will just talk and talk about anything, but if I try, it gets shut down immediately. I don't know if I want to get into the various ways. I think I did it on the other post of how to shut somebody down, but they do it. Yeah, it's just crazy making. But anyways, okay, so let's see. And I asked them, and I put in brackets here, like a normal human being, all the follow-ups to their stories and encourage them and let them exhaust themselves about the topic they brought up. This is actually a good idea for listening. If somebody brings up a topic, just ask a couple questions about it. And, you know, instead of just going, oh, that's nice, unless you don't want to talk about the subject. But if they do, they brought it up for a reason, get into it, you know, and they brought it up for a reason, talk to them about it. That's conversation. Okay. Yeah, but more often than not, when I try to do this, they just switch to a new topic that they will talk about at length. It's not complicated or nuanced what I'm talking about. It's basic communication. Here's an example. Because I got gaslit and the person was like, oh, I just thought that, I'm doing an impression, I just thought that you said, oh, okay, you went to the moon yesterday. And I thought, oh, that's nice. You went to the moon yesterday. And part of me is like, well, if I went to the moon, that's pretty interesting. And I told you I went to the moon, so probably I want to talk about something about my trip on the moon, and waiting for the, oh, really? As what a normal human would do. And then you get the talk back. I had this conversation with this person over 1,000 times. There was never any improvement. And if I ever tried to establish a boundary, it was met with anger, denial, and all kinds of nasty stuff. I am very pleased to report that this person is no longer in my life based on this and a multitude of other awful behavior. Toxic AF. What was I talking about? This is just my issues I'm getting now. This is not really science. It is, because this is what narcissists do. This is very limited. You probably don't know somebody like this who's this awful, or you wouldn't be friends with them, or you wouldn't have them in your life. But yeah, and plus, narcissists, they all take a different brand, and this is one that I just don't think is that common, but it's around. Okay, so I'm about to get into an example, which I just did now. So I went to the mall today and ran into an old friend who was surprisingly rude and didn't want to talk to me. Oh, this is in quotation marks. This is what I would have said. Normal human response. Oh, really? What happened? Or why? Then the person describes what happened, and depending on the listening skill or interest of the listener, you figure out why the person is telling the story, how it affected them, and if you're a good listener, you just listen. If you're an average or poor listener, you attempt to solve the problem or tell them what they should have done. If you were like these previously mentioned people, the two people that are no longer in my life, say nothing, go, huh, or sum it up, right? The huh. And then that just dies on the vine. Why don't you just go, F you, go F yourself, huh? You're worth this to me. Okay. And then the third one is, sum it up or throw it back to yourself, which is the most heinous in my opinion. Yeah, well, this is the quote. Yeah, well, friendships die all the time, blah, 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 blah. Did every time that happened to me? Well, blah, 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 yak, yak, yak. So yeah, that's a sum up and then a throwaway pivot to anything else, God forbid, you wanted to talk about that story. There's a million different ways someone can just treat you awfully if they are so inclined. Okay, these two people do it consistently, but when confronted, hey, I wanted to go dark, angrily deny it someone, swear it's accidental. I know this is just gaslighting, and like reality doesn't exist for these people. It just doesn't. Whatever happened yesterday or anything, it's always the first time when I would bring it up. Oh, this is getting a little personal here. I think I'll save releasing this. Yeah, it's so bizarre. And bizarre, I can't find any examples in print or on the web of this phenomenon. I actually have a little bit on Reddit, Raised by Narcissist, which is a support subreddit or forum, if you will, interactive forum, like a Discord or whatever that. I've never actually been on Discord. This is what I heard, where people who have been victimized by their parents can get together and talk. If this is happening to you, if you recognize this, go on there. It'll hopefully really help your life. Okay. Yeah, I can't find it. Is it just these two people on the planet? No, I found that out, but there's not many that do this, and that's why no one's ever talked about this phenomenon. Is ever written of this, or I just can't find this topic anywhere. The next thing I'll talk about later, I've talked about before, and I call it the quote-unquote he-she's my friend phenomenon, and I've seen various other people do it to varying degrees, but I haven't seen anything written or discussed of it either. I want to see how long this is. Ooh, my goodness, 8 minutes? I've got to hurry. Wow. Okay, and I've seen it written or discussed. Back to this topic. So when someone ever tells you, quote, did I ever tell the time I did this thing and something happened, unquote, you're pretty much obliged to listen to the story, unless you've heard it before. And you can say that. You pretty much have to say no, and then hope it's an interesting story that your friend wants to share with you. That's life. Some people are going to talk, okay? And often it's a great story. Did I ever tell you the time? They've selected it because they want you to hear it. Okay. Unless you were with a pathologic and compulsive non-listeners like I am, these people have invented ways to not have to listen to what others want to talk about. And they don't do it with most people. It's just me. I'm so lucky. And the absolutely astounding thing about this is that they themselves profess to never doing it, anything of the sort, and that I too believe it may be on a subconscious level. I don't really think that anymore. I found it's just toxicity, and it's just related to me, that they don't want to. They can control it. Please bear with me. I know this sounds odd, but I'm only saying maybe it's so, right? And I have a reason to believe why it could be the case. Firstly, they are brother and sister and grew up together. I'm going to edit that out. Firstly, they know each other very well, known each other for years, and they both will literally ramble on and then keep changing the subject of the ramble. So perhaps as a survival defense, they have both learned to never get another person starting to talk because they may never finish, or at least it will be a long listening road. This makes sense to me because both these people will hijack any conversation every day. No, they won't. I realize it's just me that I'm the lucky one that they hijack the conversation with. Like this angle. It's just me. I'm the lucky one. So Yeah, it's just me. I'm the only one that do it too. They absolutely can control it. I have later learned now because I wrote this over almost 5 years ago. Okay, so the only defense to do is by default is to shut down any attempt at conversation as a matter of course and without realizing it. Nope, that's not what they were doing. Oh my god. Or I'm totally wrong about this, and that's fine by me. The reason doesn't matter so much as the crazy lengths they will go to not get another person talking. That's me. Even the beg question, I put that in capitals, I call it, they have an answer to. Right. Did I ever tell you? Okay. Now, I don't remember this. They never ever say the normal thing. No or yes. Okay. It's always some form of uncertainty, and they use this uncertainty to set up a conversation exit later. It's quite fascinating, actually. This sounds pretty fascinating. Quote, I'm not sure, they'll say. Then you proceed with the story, and they'll go, yes, I have heard this. Even when they haven't. Or more likely, they will say something like, no, I haven't heard that. Wow, that's amazing that something like that can happen. In this day and age, you'd expect ... They've hijacked it. They've hijacked the conversation. Or, wow, that person's like, they're being a jerk. Or whatever, the sum up. Whatever they can say to sum up what you're trying to say just so they can stop you from telling your story and having it discussed. Then this would be a question. Not convinced that this method can stop any conversations in its tracks? Question mark. I did a hypothetical. Just try to sum up whenever someone tries to tell you something and watch them utterly fail to tell the story. It's impossible to tell a story or relate an anecdote when this happens. Then there is the non-reality stopping of the story, which is bonkers bananas, but this person I know literally did this 20 times in a row, even when I asked him or her not to. Basically, this stops the anecdote because well, I mean, I would like the antidote to all this. So, anyways, because I would like an antidote to their listening skills, that's for sure. Because they literally question the actual events of the story. This is a form of gaslighting, where they're topsy-turvy world and just another way to do it. Okay, and I swear this person bides her time until she can attack the story premise, literally the first time she gets. Like she's actively trying, what's the first non-concrete where he makes a conclusion or an hypothesis or something that I can attack to derail it. It happens all the time. Oh, are you sure the person at the mall is being rude to you? Maybe he was just having a bad day. And then the pivot. I remember when Now, if this has not happened to you, you're lucky. Thank God you have like non-toxic people in your life. But see, there it is. It's called the gaslighting, questioning your reality. Okay, now, one or two times, this may be a coincidence, but no way when it's literally every time I try to tell a story to this person. Literally, did I say literally? Literally every time. I would stay at this person's house and it would happen 100 times in a week and I'd have to get out. Exhausting. Horrible. Okay. It really does take the wind out of your sails when you have to explain that your obvious encounter, you didn't perceive it wrongly. The whole point of telling a story is to explain an event in your life and have it discussed, and 100% of the time, you find yourself discussing if the event even happened the way you thought it did. Fun, right? Everyone wants to do that when you try to tell a story. Ugh. Okay. And then if I wade through the morass of having my sanity and perception challenge, then I can go on and continue my anecdote, right? I think you know the answer to this already. Wrong. It gets summed up. Quote, wow, that sure sounds crazy. Or, wow, encounters with aliens is sure as blah, 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 huh? It doesn't matter how interesting the story is. This person will... this was a true story because I was somewhere. The person saw that I had money and drove their car around into this really dark road that I was walking on, extremely dark, because in this country, it's not a developed country, so it was pitch black, and then they just went down the road. They didn't think that I saw them, okay, because my awareness was already there, And then I saw them watching me, and then they went down the road, parked in this really weird spot, and killed the lights, and that I had to go down. And anyways, so I managed to avoid it. I'm like sitting there like, what the hell do I do? So okay, I'm gonna go back to the gas station where I came from. Okay, and then at this gas station, you know, I'm just trying to think, okay, well, I dodged that. I gotta get a freaking taxi now. You know, the person who did that came back and got gas about 20 feet away from me. This row here. I'm here trying to set up a phone. I don't know if this person is going to put a bullet in my brain because they know that I've busted them. Maybe they thought I saw their gun or whatever. I don't know. But it's really tough to turn your back on somebody who you believe to be armed and may want to kill you. About a 10 on the pucker factor. Yeah. All right, so yeah, I guess I did tell this story. So so Caribbean, normal person, quote, know what happened? Her, let me think, maybe you did? Well, yeah, okay, well anyways, so this is me. I was coming out of this place late at night in a dark, not so good area of town, really bad area of town. I saw this guy staring at me at the gas station, normal person. Oh, what did he look like? Or what time of day? What time of day was this? Her, in brackets, get to the point, idiot. Me, yeah, like 2 a.m. and the guy was wearing a backwards baseball hat, young guy, and I kept noticing him staring at me, but I was successful in getting him to not know that I was aware of him, which is important, not aware of him staring, normal person. Oh boy, that doesn't sound fun, or, oh, okay, so you notice him staring. So yeah, this is normal questions, keeping in the moment, letting the story continue. These are all normal things that seemingly all beings do. It's not rocket science. Almost everyone on Earth, this is as natural as normal as any conversation can be, except her, quote unquote. Maybe he was just getting gas, and maybe he was as scared of you are as you were of him. Lol. Bracket, no, because as I just said, he tried to rob me later, good grief. So, but again, I just wade through me. Yeah, so I know because he's seen me with a wad of money, and I start to leave the gas station praying he won't get into the car and follow me, but guess what he does? Normal person, oh my God, you're in for it now. Her, so what happened? Requesting the sum up. Translation, shut up, shut up, shut up. Did I express doubt already? Didn't I sum up what happened already, and yet you're still proceeding with this? Fine, pay the price then. And I would pay the price to tell that story. Can you see how impossible it would be to tell anyone to this person? It's been over an hour and I'm taking a break. I just wrote that. So it hasn't been an hour talking about it. But yeah, I guess this turned into interrupting, but became more of someone who I had to get rid of in final life because the toxicity of this is 24/7 with this person. I mean, even just always talking, I would hear these things, always talking about me behind my back, and making up lies, well, behind my back, not true things behind my back, making up lies behind my back, just consistently awful in every way. And then this person would demand things of me. Yeah, anywho, it's been over 3 years now, almost 3 years now. And I have regretted it 0 times. I've missed this person 0 seconds of the day. And I just wish that I'd done it decades sooner. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know if you can, maybe edit that out. Yeah, it's more story about listening. So I'll just sum it up. Up to you. Okay, so that's it. That's my thing for today. Over and out.